Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in and welcome. As expected, today is very uptight, very tense, very controversial. That's all rocket fuel for precious metals. Green across the board. I mean, nothing crazy. We knew this would happen. So, this is where things get interesting. Very interesting. Because regardless of what happens, there's a couple different things that are going to set precious metals off the radar, off the charts. And people aren't really looking at this. I mean, when we talk about stimulus, a lot of people don't understand that there's going to be consequences. The US dollar's in a lose lose situation on it. Trump or Biden win. Anytime whoever it is throwing trillions of dollars into the economy, it's going to have consequences. Where's that money coming from? Can we afford to throw that much money into the economy? We definitely can't. And that's going to have an effect on the dollar. And we know that the dollar is directly correlated to gold and silver. So if the dollar and when the dollar gets hurt from this, it's going to push precious metals higher. That's a direct correlation. It's not like the dollar's going to be low and precious metals. No. Anytime the dollar's low, gold and silver are high, and that's vice versa. So we literally can guarantee that precious metals will be up from this because whoever wins they both have promised stimulus. Some, one more than the other, but regardless, it's going to hurt the dollar. So we have a couple of articles I wanted to go over today. The first one is talking more about this. The second one is talking about renewed demand for safe havens will boost silver. Safe havens is going to be one of the key words that you're going to hear a lot lately because when people don't trust banks, when people don't trust governments, they turn towards gold and silver, which is a safe haven, which is only going to bring more demand, only going to put more money into the market, which is also going to be rocket fuel. So if you know all this, if you've been watching my videos and you still don't think, or if you're still skeptical on precious metals or really don't see the potential, then I don't know if you're blind, deaf, crazy, or just ignorant, but it's blatantly obvious, guys. So anyways, let's jump into it. The outcome of the 2020 U.S. presidential election is unlikely to alter the fate of the U.S. dollar index, which is down 9% from its March highs, the latest Reuters poll of investors and analysts showed. Key findings. Many market participants believe that a victory by Joe Biden, currently the frontrunner in the polls, and a potential Democratic sweep would likely weigh on the U.S. currency further, as the former vice president is expected to open the door to policies that investors view as dollar negative, including robust fiscal stimulus. So if Biden wins, a lot of stimulus, a weaker economy, definitely going to hurt the dollar. But if Trump wins, we also know that he actually wants a weaker dollar. He talked about that earlier this year. So 4 more years of Donald Trump presidency may offer a less clear path for the dollar. Although a continuation of Trump's belligerent approach toward China would likely boost the dollar's allure as a safe haven asset, those gains may be outweighed by factors such as continued negative U.S. real yields. So while that short position reflects the negative sentiment swirling around the dollar, it could also fuel gains if a change in the narrative forced investors to unwind those bets all at once. The uncertainty surrounding a contested election could be one such event. And I've been talking about this election being extremely explosive for precious metals last year, before the pandemic. Before I even knew that there was going to be a global pandemic, I was talking about 2020 having a lot of potential because how controversial, because the stakes. And I started saying this around the U.S.-China trade negotiations. Remember last year when it was like the oil fields, Saudi Arabia oil fields, the Hong Kong protests, the U.S.-China trade negotiations, like that was the top stuff going on. When all that was happening and I saw the effect that was having on the markets, I knew that around this time this year, it was going to get interesting. Now, I had no idea that there was going to be $1 trillion stimulus packages put together. I had no idea about any of this. So it's only more explosive. If we can go back in time and look at 2008, when silver was $50 in 2011, 2008 was a credit crisis. recession slash depression, $1 billion stimulus packages back then led to $50 silver. Nowadays, recession slash depression, $1 trillion stimulus packages, a U.S. election, and a global pandemic. So if that led to $50 back then, imagine what it could do in today's times, especially with a weaker dollar, gold and silver demand much higher, and a lot more investors. Things could get interesting, to say the least. So renewed demand for safe havens will boost silver. It could be a wild ride for the markets in an election week, which should spur a demand for investors seeking safe havens. In the case of silver, price action in December futures could dictate what the precious metal will go through the rest of 2020. Currently, fortune slightly favors the bull. December silver futures still have the overall near-term technical advantage, but the price uptrend on the daily bar chart has been negated, and bulls need to show more power soon to avoid serious near-term technical damage. And this is the thing. The short term for any market, whether it's stocks, whether it's precious metals, it's going to be very shaky, very wishy-washy, because there's so many things, going on. One thing is going to push the markets this way, one day, and then the next day it's going to go the other. People are confused. People don't even know what's going on. So how are they going to have any type of stability or any type of, sense of direction on where to invest their money if everything is on such thin ice right now? It's really in limbo mode. Once things settle down, once we get in next year and we get an idea of the direction whoever wins is kind of taking things, then we're going to start to see everything unfold on really what's going to happen. And remember, like I said, no matter who wins, it's going to be bullish. So right now, short term, precious metals could be down, could be high, whatever. But who cares about the short term? We're investing for the medium to long term. We're buying silver right now, and we're planning on selling it in the medium to long term. So that's the time frame we need to be paying attention to anyways. And we can guarantee, or I can guarantee, that medium to long term is going to be higher. Do you think about this? Do you honestly think in 10, 15 years, silver's still going to be $25? Like, honestly, think about how much could happen in 10 to 15 years. Do you honestly think silver will be $25? I mean, think about 10 years ago. Did you honestly think in that time period silver's going to stay at this price, especially how it was just $11 in March, $30 in August? Within a couple months, it jumped that high. Imagine in 10 years how many rallies and how much crazy stuff is going to happen that we can't even fathom because we don't have a crystal ball to look into the future. So if you're buying silver right now and you're a little worried that you might not make your money back, please just think about it. Step outside of the day-to-day, markets. Step outside and really think about the longer term, the bigger picture. If you're buying silver for $25 right now, and you're going to hold it for at least 10, 15 years, and you're worried about not making your money back, then I don't even know what to tell you, because it's so obvious that right now silver is so undervalued. It's a win-win. You cannot go wrong investing into silver. Now, people will try to say that they'll try to say that it's a risky investment, and that's looking from like an ETF side, a daily trading side, stock market side. Yeah, anything's risky when you're trading marginally or when you're doing it in a short amount of time, because you're relying on selling the tops and buying the bottoms. But if you're just buying and holding, you have nothing to worry about, especially knowing the direction the dollar's going, knowing the direction the economy's going, and the direction precious metals are going. The dollar over time goes downwards. Precious metals over time goes upwards. It's that simple. People try to overcomplicate it, though. See, and they do that on purpose. I've been finding a lot of articles lately on this channel, as you know, that have been subliminally pushing or painting a terrible picture for gold and silver. And every one of these articles is written from some stock market site or some daily trading site that doesn't really fit precious metals into their quota or category. But And it's interesting because the way they say it, they're trying to make it seem like they're talking positive about precious metals, but they'll slip all these things in that just are so far off from the truth. And if you've seen any of these videos I've been making lately, I rip these articles apart, and it's pretty funny. It's happened like 3 or 4 times in the last couple of months, where I'm honestly, I thought the article was gonna be bullet was gonna be something positive, but as I start reading along, I start catching all this crap, and it's really funny. They're really funny videos. I really enjoy them because I just love hearing the perspective of outsiders or someone trying to explain this market from someone who's not in this market. It's pretty interesting. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I have a lot more stuff I'm going to cover today, so make sure that you tune in. Right now, right now more than ever, it is crucial, it is vital to be subscribed. There's so much happening, there's so much news. You have to stay up to date. You have to I will keep you in the loop. I'll give you the newest, the most important stories, and also what's affecting the prices. You have to be updated on this stuff, especially if you're buying. A lot of people aren't going to be selling right now, but if you're buying, selling, or trading, you got to pay attention. Even if you're holding, right? It's always good to keep an eye on the markets, even when you're not making a move. But especially if you're buying, selling, or trading, you need to be subscribed. Even if it's not my channel, channels like mine, because it's definitely going to affect the way you invest. If you're blindly investing into the markets without paying attention to this stuff, then the chance of you making money is highly unlikely. The people that make money are the ones that do their research, that are informed, that understand what's happening. You cannot invest into something if you don't understand what's happening, or what the direction of that asset, of that investment is going. And that's what I offer on a day-to-day basis. So, anyways, I got a lot more work to do. The link to these 2 articles will be in the description if you want to check them out yourself. What do you think about this? What do you think is going to be more bullish for the dollar? Trump or Biden win? What do you? And I don't want to talk politics. I don't want to. Honestly, I don't want to talk about who's gonna win or who should win or any of that. I don't want that on my channel. This is an investing channel. This is not talking about emotions, not talking about people's opinions. It's strictly talking about gold and silver and what is going to affect the price. So, who do you think winning would affect the price, and why? Right? The why is the most important. Anyone could say, "Oh, Trump would push silver higher," but why? Explain your reasoning. That's the most important, part of saying a statement, is explaining your reasoning behind it, and then we can all get on the same page. There's a lot of different things, the direction this could go. There's a lot of different approaches, and I would love to hear your opinion, your insight behind your reasoning. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. This was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys soon.